Let's see how we can use everyday objects from home to perform a story. Now, object puppetry is something where we can use objects as they are, like this shoelace, which you can make like a snake, or you could use like a telephone wire, or you could transform an object into something else. For example, this jar into this, or I could transform a kitchen roll into something like this. Now, what do you need to make this? A jar, any size would do. Basically, it has to be a plastic jar, some tissue paper. You can also use A4 size paper, a cup of water, an empty bowl, glue, I'm using Fevicol here, acrylic colors, white acrylic color for the base coat. I'm also using wood gloss. This is to give a good finish and make the object puppet last. This is optional. Now I'm using two brushes here, one for the mixing and the other is for painting. I will also need a pencil, sketch pen and a permanent marker. Okay, so let's begin. First we take a bowl and we pour around a tablespoon of water. Now add Fevicol or glue in equal proportion. Mix well. Next, you take your jar and you take your paper. You could choose any one, tissue or A4. Now tear your paper, your tissue paper into small pieces. Next, apply a coat of this mixture which you made with Fevicol and water on the surface of the bottle. Now start sticking the paper on it very nicely. Once you are done, apply one coat of the same mixture on top of the paper. Continue this process. Now as you can see, I have almost covered the bottle, the front side. Now you could also do the same with an A4 paper. I'm going to show you how this looks. So again, I'm tearing it into small pieces. Just in case if you're using A4, how would it look? Now here you are going to dip these papers in water first before sticking. because this paper is more thicker than tissue paper. That is the reason why we are softening it. Put it on the jar. And then apply one coat of the Fevicol water mixture on top. Now if you look carefully here, when you stuck the tissue paper, it gave you a nice texture. This texture is very nice when you're making a skin or something, whereas when I've stuck the A4, it's kind of glossy. So use it the way you want it. If you want a glossy look, go for glossy. If you want a texture, go for tissue. I'm covering up the rest of the bottle now. Now this takes around 24 hours to dry well. So once you are done, leave it to dry for a day. I'm going to keep it aside and I'm going to show you a jar which is already dried out. This is the jar where I have used a tissue paper. Look at the texture. And this is another where I have used A4. Now see the texture. It's much more smoother. Next I'm going to do is I'm going to apply one base coat of white acrylic paint. Do not add water. Just directly take a brush and put one fine coat of white acrylic all over the bottle. Apply evenly. This will also take around 4 to 6 hours to dry well. Now I have this jar which is completely dry. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to trace out a design. Now I have already traced out something with a pencil, so I'm now going to darken it with a sketch pen, or you could just take a permanent marker and darken it. You could also use paintbrush and a black color. Now I have attached a template in the description below with few samples so that you could use them for making your object puppets. Do have a look at them. Or you could create your own design. If you have made anything new which is not in the template, do post it in the comment section. Now as you can see, I am tracing out a dog here. And I have decided to use this jar to make 2 object puppets instead of 1. So I'm turning it and I'm now making another character. Say I'm making a boy. Okay, now it's time to paint. I'm going to use acrylic colors. First, I'm taking black paint and making the outline darker. Once this is done, the next I'll start filling in colors. Once I finish with the side of the dog, the next I'm going to do is I'm going to start painting the boy. Object puppets are very interesting and easy to make. Most of the materials are around our houses, so it's inexpensive. They work very well with children because children like bright and attractive colors. So the more creative and the more colorful you can be, the more your storytelling is going to be more effective. Now I have already finished painting the boy as well as the dog. So now what I'm doing is I am utilizing the white space between them and coloring it green. Green because maybe I could have a scene where there's a boy who takes his dog for a walk in the park. So now as you can see, I have other object puppets made and they all have a shiny look. This is because of the gloss that I've used. This is a wood gloss. Now this gloss is completely optional, it's your wish. Take the brush and just lightly apply one coat only when your paint dries. Now this gloss takes around 24 to 48 hours to dry. So leave it at a corner where no one can touch it. So go ahead and make your object puppets. Use them in your stories.